This is the newest car that I own. Is that a good thing? Welcome back to Seaside Garage and the Ford Escort. You will remember, if you watch the videos about the Ford Escort, I do realize that a lot of people are maybe not that interested in this one, comparing it to the other cars that I got. But on the other hand, there are some people, Miss Hopnut for instance, who seems to really like this car. And I do too. I was just so tempted to save it because they are gone, these. Even though when you see them, you can remember them standing all around. Now they are pretty much gone. I think I got lucky with this one. It is in pretty decent condition overall, which is apparently unlikely because they rusted more than other cars of that period. In the previous videos on this one, I changed the camshaft, not the camshaft, I changed the cam belt, I swapped the steering rack, I changed the springs. I made a lot of stuff on this. I actually thought that I got it MOT ready. I didn't really, because I forgot the rear brakes, and the rear brakes are important as well, so I'm going to fix them today because they are pretty bad. And then I have actually booked it in for an MOT in a couple of days. I actually pretty much made a trade to swap this car together with a bunch of money for another car, because as you can, if I'm gonna let this go, I at least gotta have another one to put in its place, because I only have 13 cars, I think. I'm not gonna tell you more about that other than the fact that the car that I am going hopefully to trade this car for has been on this channel a couple of times. And it's a nice car. And it's rough, so it fits just in together with all the other one. It's also broken, so it's perfect. But let's go ahead and fix those rear brakes. And as mentioned, I thought this car was pretty much MOT ready because the rear brakes felt all right, the handbrake was working and all that. But then again, I wasn't completely satisfied with the feel I got from the pedal and all that, so I thought that it would be a good idea to check. And it was a very good idea to check, because this will never, ever go through an MOT. There are several things wrong. As you can see, there are no liners on this side. Actually, not on the other side as well. I think this has been dragging badly in this side. It also seems to have some moisture in here, and I'm not sure where it comes from. I'm the one who peeled this one back just to check the diameter of the piston, but I don't think it's coming from that, so I'm a bit unsure about the oiliness in here, where that is from. But what I have decided to do also, because the brake line back here got cracks in it, is to change the brake line, the brake cylinder, and the brake pads. And actually, it would be nice to change all the hardware as well, but I forgot to order that, so we're just going to reuse that. But I don't think that would be any problem. I just need to clean it up. So I will get to work fixing all of this. These rear brakes are surprisingly neglected. And something gotta be wrong, because it's really worn on this side and it's not as worn on the other side. So I guess it has been stuck at some point on one side. And that was the reason why I just took the decision to change everything, because I don't want to mess with that. I want it to be all right. Normally you would spray this kind of stuff down to avoid getting this dust everywhere. It's not asbestos, but still it's not healthy either. But this is completely caked in oil or some kind of, maybe just brake fluid. I don't know what it is, but we need to get rid of it at least. Otherwise it won't work later down the line. Maybe it was actually stuck and then someone sprayed oil in here to get it to move. That would be weird, wouldn't it? Maybe not. I actually did that on the Metro, Austin Metro that I got to make it move. It's almost as, it's pretty close to actually being easier to just take the entire rear plate off to do this. Okay, that is amazingly stupid. I pretty much can't get to it, and it has rounded off slightly, so that's not making it any easier. So why is it still surprising for me, at least, that a seemingly easy job suddenly takes a turn and then gets really difficult and takes a lot of time? I'm constantly surprised. I really didn't think of anything that could be a problem other than maybe getting it loose up there. That was not a problem. But Ford decided to leave this much room for the nuts to get them, or the bolts to get the wheel cylinders off or the brake cylinders off. As you can see, you can't get at them straight, so you have to use a open wrench because of this edge over here. Very stupid. It has rounded off. It was already too small to actually fit the open wrench, so I got the other one off, but this one is not coming off, that's for sure. I could remove the entire backing plate. That would be nice because I could clean it off, but the ABS sensor is right here. The ABS system on this car works. I don't want to mess with that wire and that sensor if I don't really have to. So I'm going to try something else because this is dead anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and try to cut it in through here and hopefully cut that bolt over and then be done with it. Here we go, I got it off. What an absolute struggle. And yes, it might make sense why they did it like that, but I absolutely do not understand why you would want to leave that little space to get to the mounting hardware on something as important and as it's something that needs some service from time to time. And it's just impossible to get to it. I don't understand it. Anyway. Woo! Yeah, this is as good as it's going to get without removing it and sandblasting it, because this is really grubby. It's solid though, no problem, but it's just flaky paints everywhere. But I do not have time to do more than this. And it will be plenty enough. Okay, so I think I made it clear that I don't like the design of this. But wow, it's difficult to do this, and I think if I had a manual, it would most likely tell me to remove the backing plate to do this job. But now it's a principle. I'm not going to remove it. Okay, so it's a day later, and I'm gonna continue on this. I fitted the brake line. So next up, I'm gonna grease up the points where the brake shoes rests, to just make sure that it doesn't bind up. And here we have the new brake shoes and the old hardware. I cleaned it up and it's now looking all right, and everything is free to move. And it's a self-adjustment system, so it should just adjust out when I use the brakes to actually make the handbrake work correctly and the travel correctly. So I think this will be it for now. And then it's just a matter of doing exactly the same on this side. But I'm gonna do that off camera and take you back when it's done. So the brakes are now completely fixed on the rear, and all I need to do is to bleed the 2 rear circuits. So there we go. I just need to do the other side and then put the wheels back on, get the car back on the ground. And then I'm going to the MOT station tomorrow. I'll do a quick test drive first, of course. But I think it's ready. I hope it is. I tend to always miss something, but let's see if it's the case this time. So wish me luck and see you in a second when I get back from the MOT with good news or bad news, we'll see. Back from the MOT, you will notice that there are no number plates on the car. The car did not pass, but it was really close. So I'm really with mixed emotions at the moment, because it's really minor stuff that needs to be fixed. Well, actually it isn't. What I'm happy about is that there was absolutely no rust underneath. There were nowhere he could punch holes. He did try a lot of places. He knew the rust problems that the Escort was facing back in the days. So he knew exactly where they tend to go. No issues were found. The brakes were fine. The pollution level was fine. Yeah, nothing to add. The only mechanical issue there was is a torn boot on the drive shaft at the right side at the front end. I must have missed that or forgot that or something, but it's not possible to pass the MOT in Denmark with a split boot on a drive shaft, which is pretty harsh, but that's just the way it is. It needs to be fixed. But the problem is actually still rust. It's just not underneath. I think I even got comments about this. At least I can remember comments about the rust issues in the battery tray. And I went to look, and I can see that someone has welded up this area. It is fixed. It looks just fine. So I thought that I wouldn't have any problems right there. But there is an opposite side to this area with problems is right in here. I don't know how much you can see, because it is a bit difficult to get to this area, but it is really rotten down here, and it is a pretty annoying place also. As far as I can see, it is okay-ish up at the windscreen mounting area, so I don't think I will have to do anything about that, because taking the windscreen out would be a massive job. So I hope to not be able to be able to fix this without. But what I do need is to take out the shuttle panel, plastic panel, and the wiper mechanism. Maybe even removing the bonnet to get to this area, because not only do I need to be able to see what I'm doing, but I also need to get a welder down there and close up this hole, which is bigger than you can see, I'm sure of. So hey, this was almost MOT today. This and a boot kept it from being roadworthy. It is really nice to know that because he really went at it with a hammer underneath, and it's just solid everywhere. That's really good. But the rust in here needs to be fixed, and I need to fix that gator. I might end up just putting a glue together kind of boot on that side, because yeah, we'll see. Because I need this car MOT quickly. I pretty much already sold it, or actually swapped it for another car. I have a good mate who at the moment doesn't have any cars that works, and he really needs a car that works with a hitch. This got it all. He got another car that I like, which doesn't work, so it fits my kind of likings a little bit better. So I need to get this car fixed, hopefully within the next week. And another positive note on this is I have driven this car for a bit today to go to the MOT and all that. It drives really nicely, but I need to fix that rust. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. I'm gonna go find my welder.